So the Springboks are a side you love seeing in action. I've got some exciting news for you. They are going to be adding another match to their Northern Hemisphere tour in November, and that will be Munster. But if you do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Nonetheless, let's get straight into it. So like I mentioned, the Springboks, they have recently announced that Munster are going to be another game that has taken place midweek for the end of year internationals. Now, they had already confirmed that they were going to be playing up against the Bristol Bears on the 17th of November, but now we know on the 10th of November that they are going to be playing up against Munster. Now, that is very exciting news because we will get to see the South Africa Select 15 going head-to-head up against a couple tough sides in the Northern Hemisphere, which will give them a few more games under their belt. But a thing that has been mentioned a lot is depth building for the Springboks, and this is going to be a perfect way of them being able to test out a few players who initially may not have made the Springboks, but instead they will get themselves a crack in these games, see if they can book themselves a spot in that 2023 World Cup squad. So the Springbok end of year international fixtures currently, as we sit, they have got Ireland in their first match that will be played at the Aviva Stadium, and that is on the 5th of November. Then from there, their next match will be up against Munster, and that is the South Africa Select 15, taking on one of the Irish juggernauts, and that will be taking place on the 10th of November for that contest. Then on the 12th of November, straight away they head to France, and that is who will be their next opponent. So a few big matches coming up for the Springboks in the end of year internationals. Then the South African 15, they will be taking on the Bristol Bears at Ashton Gate, which I guess is a little bit of an interesting choice to be playing up against the Bristol Bears. Now, normally they are a lot stronger than they were in last year's Premiership. Maybe there is a reason behind it for why they chose Bristol rather than any of the other Gallagher Premiership sides. So that is on the 17th of November. Then on the 19th of November, it will be Italy taking on the Springboks. And then to close out the tour, it's going to be a massive rematch of what we saw last year. And then also looking back a little bit further, what we saw as the 2019 World Cup final, and that is going to be South Africa taking on England, and that will be on the 26th of November, and it's going to have a massive atmosphere behind that game as it is taking place at Twickenham. But like I mentioned about the depth factor, the Springboks, they have got a huge amount of players who have been just on the cusp of getting themselves minutes for the Springboks, whether you're looking at someone like an Evan Roos who was taken out there. You've got a few of the Dupré brothers who may get themselves into that South Africa 15, maybe Marcel Kutzer. There's a whole heap of names that we will see added in. And then I guess the benefit is if they are with the Springboks throughout their training camps, etc., it does mean that if there is an injury within that Springboks environment, straight away grab someone from the South Africa 15, similar to what we saw when Australia A were taking part in the Pacific Nations Cup when the Wallabies ended up with injuries up against England. It did mean that they could grab a player from the Pacific Nations Cup, such as Reece Hodge, perfect example of a player who did get switched straight over into the international team. But nonetheless, do let me know what you think of these extra fixtures being announced. Is this something that you would like to see for other international sides, getting a couple matches up against domestic teams? I mean, if the New Zealand 15 had the option of playing Leinster, I think they should 100% take it, because that would be an absolutely outstanding fixture. It would be interesting to see who would be in that Leinster lineup with so many of the players playing for Ireland at international level. But alongside that, do let me know who you think will be some players that we see make their way into that South African 15 when they do head up north throughout November. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.